And my wife says no because then everybody would know you were Shrek. So she won't let me get a miniature donkey. She won't let me do it. She won't let me do it. So
That's funny.
well, got to have comedic when you're me. You better have comedy. I'm just saying. But you've heard about the parental rights bill that was passed. Some call it the "Don't Say Gay" bill.
Of course.
Opponents of it call it the "Don't Say Gay" bill. It really was parental rights that said it's a parent's right to talk about sex and gender to their kindergartner through third grader, and beyond and on into middle school and high school. That certain things need to be discussed with parents before they're discussed in general with middle schoolers or high schoolers. And it gives a list of things that need to be discussed. Well, people go, well, why would you even need a bill like that? You're acting like teachers are just going to the chalkboard and saying, hey, here, if you're playing with dolls at 6 years old, you're really a woman who's trapped in a man's body and you need to have gentrification education. That don't happen in classrooms. And people think that it doesn't happen. Well, these politicians say it does happen and we need to pass laws. And I'll give you a case in point where it's kind of like, there's a reason on a blow dryer it says do not use while taking a bath. Because some moron got in the bathtub with a blow dryer and electrocuted himself and died. The reason these kind of laws are passed is not because there's mass, teachers in mass going and preaching transgender rights. That's or preaching that how about your sexuality. These laws aren't passed because there's hundreds of teachers doing this. These laws are being passed because there's teachers that are doing it, just like the guy that got in the tub or the girl that got in the tub with the blow dryer. It's not happening a lot, but it's happening enough where somebody needed to put a tag on a blow dryer going, hey, morons, don't get in the bathtub with the blow dryer. Well, this is happening enough where you have to spell it out. Teachers, you can't talk sexuality, gender, homosexuality, heterosexuality, all of that with small children. And you can't talk to middle schoolers and high schoolers without at first letting the parents know what the curriculum is going to be, because that way they have the option of keeping their kids home from school that day if they don't want their kid introduced to it. And whatever side you come down on, that's what this law is intended to do, is give parents back control over their children, not the schools making those kind of decisions. And somebody goes, well, Tom, why do we need that? We don't need that. Well, let me tell you about the beginning of March this year. 2022, middle schoolers aged 11 to 14 at Pearl Miller Middle School in Killinan, New Jersey. They were given a lesson in social studies, and they had a guest speaker, a transgender activist, Aiden Dowling, come and give a presentation in the auditorium to the 11 through 14-year-olds. Doesn't sound out of the ordinary. No. The activist gave definitions for terms such as gender, sexual orientation, and non-binary. These are 13, 14-year-olds. They can understand those definitions. The lesson included 2 videos. Well, that's where this takes a south turn and why these kind of laws are in place. Parents went crazy over the 2 videos. The superintendent sent out an email to explain students in these clips that the students saw, there was no endorsement of hormone injection, and there was no hormone injection done. However, 2 minutes into one of the videos, Dowling, the person that's on stage giving the talk, is in the videos and starts explaining why testosterone injections are needed while injecting himself with testosterone. Now, that directly contradicts what the superintendent said. The school never informed parents nor the school board that they were going to give this presentation. So parents didn't have the option of not wanting their kids to be exposed to something that they may or may not agree with. Look, if you're going to talk to kids about sexuality and sexual orientation between 11 and 14, that's when their hormones are raging. That's when they need to understand what's going on with their body and everything. But to show videos where here's how you inject steroids into, testosterone into you so you can get more man genes, more man testosterone if you're a woman who wants to become a man. without parents knowing that this kind of display was going to happen, without even the school board knowing this was going to happen. That's exactly why these kind of laws are passed. Am I wrong in thinking that's a little too far to go?
No, I mean, I think that I think that it's okay that you tell them why these injections happen and what the change does to your body and why why. But to show it and have somebody on stage actually injecting themselves is a little much.
Without mom and dad having any idea, or the school board having any idea.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that obviously the school board and stuff should have known about it.
But that's exactly why these kind of laws are passed in places. That's why Florida passed this law. According to the law in Florida, if that happened, people would be breaking the law. They would face, some criminality because you didn't tell the parent. How do you not? Hey, we're going to have a discussion. Just a form letter sent out. Parents, we're going to have the discussion. Next Wednesday. I don't know what day it was, but next Wednesday, where we'll have a couple activists as guest speakers. Here's who they are. Here's what the program, the curriculum in the program includes. We want to let you know this so that you can make an informed decision on whether to send your child to school that day or not.
Right. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
What's the problem with that?
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that there's a different view, though, from the other side, from people that are against this. I think that it's not that part of it that they're against. It's more that that maybe the parents don't agree or think that their kid should be or is gay or transgender or whatever, and that there may be bad consequences for the kid if they are called out to their parent. I think that's the part that they're worried about. So if you tell the parent and the parent doesn't agree with it, there could be repercussions for that kid from that parent.
If the kid is open about their sexuality or something.
Well, for instance, if the kid is feeling different and wants to go to their guidance counselor, for instance, and tell them, but they're afraid to tell their parents because they fear the repercussions.
Certainly.
So I think that's the part that the other side is concerned about. That's,
stifling a child that wants to discuss it with somebody
Correct.
from being able to discuss it.
Right.
And I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
I got no problem being able to open up that, and I don't want guidance counselors to then call mom and dad and out little Johnny or out little Mary.
Right.
But
unfortunately, that's kind of what this bill says they have to do, from my understanding of what the bill actually states.
Yes, in middle school and high school, I think that if they're made aware of it, they're under obligation to. I think they have to call the parents.
Yeah, and that's the part I think that is concerning for a lot of the people.
But yet, the part that they're all over is, why are you so angry that we don't want to talk about gender to third graders? Well, you shouldn't talk about that to third graders.
Yeah, I think that's.
And these kids, perfectly okay by my standards, for you to talk about. Binary and non-binary, to talk about transgender, gender, sexual orientation, perfectly legitimate to talk to 12, 13, and 14-year-olds about.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't think a 12-year-old, 13-year-old, or 14-year-old know about sex, know about how things are done, okay, everybody goes, when did you learn? My generation, 35, 40 years ago, it was about 13, 14, 15.
It's even earlier now.
Now it's between 10 and 15.
Yeah.
10 and 13.
In some cases, I think it might even be earlier than that, which is surprising.
There are 10-year-old girls that are walking around campus now that have the augmentation of a 15 or 18-year-old.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you have to discuss these things earlier now. But my point is to not let parents know that you're going to talk about injections of hormones and everything and actually do a demonstration of hormone injection and everything. That, to me, is way out of bounds.
Yeah, in this specific circumstance, I think that was too far.
But that brings me back to my point that the reason you have to have laws like this, and whether you agree with how inclusive this law is, whether it does too much, not enough, you have to have some sort of law that says the school must tell parents about what's going on, or you have situations like this. It doesn't happen this is like you said, in this one situation. You're right. this is not happening in school board and school auditoriums across the country where they're having this kind of situation. It's happening in one here in New Jersey. Who knows? You know, it may happen 5, 6 other places. Very minute thing. But how many people are getting into a tub with a blow dryer? Probably 4 or 5. But they still put that label on the blow dryer because there's 1 or 2 morons that's going to do it.
Right.
That's why they have to pass these laws, because there's going to be 1 or 2 that push the envelope and go way past where they should go, like with this demonstration of here's how you get more male testosterone, so your boobs start to decrease, your muscle tone starts to change, you start to grow facial hair, and here's how you do it.
Yeah, and
that's a little much.
I think any curriculum that you put into any school should at least the school board should know.
At least the school board should know.
It's kind of ridiculous that they didn't even know.
I mean, that's my point. Okay, so if you're against parents knowing, how the hell are you against the school board knowing about the curriculum that they're the school board for?
Right. Yeah.
The superintendent who works for the school board, it's a appointed superintendent, didn't even tell their bosses what was going on, which lends me to think, did they know it was suspect and that's why they didn't let anybody in on it?
Well, you can always infer some things like that, so maybe they...
But that's, the problem is, without knowing, that's how that void is filled. People infer.
Yeah.
And inferences get you in trouble.
Yes.
that gets you in trouble.
Yeah.
So, but here's an exact example of why the legislature in Florida thought they had to pass the parental rights bill. And whether you think they passed too much in it, they didn't put enough in it, that's another debate. But the reason they passed a bill like this is for this exact occurrence that happened in New Jersey, where a superintendent and a school decided without the guidance of the school board or parents that they would have a very frank discussion and demonstration of sexual orientation, gender, and non-binary situations. That's a little too much for me, I think. A little too much. We'll take a break. We'll be right back at this time out. You're listening to Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Thankful to live in a free nation with liberty and justice for all. But sometimes those liberties can be put in jeopardy, and you may have questions about what to do or who to call. Let Doc Blanchard of Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland help you find the answers. Attorneys at law since 1974 and located in downtown Ocala. If you have legal issues, don't go it alone. Call 352-732-7218. Blanchard, Miriam, Adele, and Kirkland, helping protect your liberties every day.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY only $4.99. Plus DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Started in 1975. It's Yendel's Building Materials. Whether you're making repairs, adding a room, or building a house, Yendel's constantly delivers excellent service and top quality materials and many of the tools and hardware you need to get the job done. At Yendel's, they take pride in supplying their customers with new and innovative products. Yendel's experience in truss design, manufacturing, and component materials is second to none. 834 North Magnolia Avenue in Ocala, 732-3000. Stop by to experience the difference.
Science is helping combat a livestock disease that could devastate one branch of the industry.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
Are you tired of living with chronic pain, knee pain, joint pain? Listen carefully, because now there are new treatments available here. Not talking surgery or steroids. These are regenerative treatments from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics, now with offices in Ocala and the Villages. Hey everybody, this is Tom Schmitz. QC Kinetics is the leader in these exciting biological therapies that help restore and repair